Hello, everybody. It's me, Sarah, Director of Awesome, here at the IMAG, and we are here for IMAG School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And so we've got a lot of really fun things planned for this week. Hopefully you are at least a little bit of a Harry Potter fan, or have at least read some of the books or watched some of the movies. If you haven't, you may want to actually check some of those out this week so that some of this stuff makes more sense to you. When they do have some strange Harry Potter names, I will try and explain them a little bit as well, just so there isn't complete confusion if you're not a Harry Potter fan. A lot of what we're doing this week is chemistry. But so if you know Harry Potter, you know they have charms and potions classes. Here at Magical Creatures, we're going to get to meet some of our animal ambassadors. We'll be doing herbology. Remember the mandrakes from the movie. Defense against the dark arts activities, of course, and a whole bunch of other things. So it's going to be a really fun week. I love Harry Potter, so I'm really excited about a lot of the activities that we have. So again, if you are a Harry Potter fan, then you know the first thing that happens when you get to Hogwarts is you get sorted into your house. So I'm going to show you how we sort our campers here on site, and then I'm going to show you how you're going to get sorted at home. So if you were to come to the IMAG, you would get sorted using what we call our sorting goblet. And so for today, our sorting goblet is going to be a beaker that I have up here. And so I have 4 cups up here, and we're going to go ahead and pour the liquid from this cup into each one, and they're going to change color. And I'm going to make a mess based on which house you would be in. So if you see, we've already had Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin. So if you know your Harry Potter, you know the last cup is going to be Hufflepuff. So I'm going to go back across and just use up the rest of this. But so as you can see, all of our cups change color based on what house people would be in. But the cool thing is, when we talk about Harry Potter, we're talking about magic, we're talking about houses, there's always balance. And so what I'm going to do is show you. I'm going to take our cups and we're going to combine them over here. And we're going to put our little, well, this one's going to be fun. I didn't bring the right ingredients, so it's always fun to do science live. And we're going to mix them up all together and get one color together. So I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. And I'm going to show you, obviously you don't have a sorting goblet at your house. And so the way you're going to get sorted is you want to look in your bag. And you're going to see a little tiny Ziploc bag, has a little card, and on it, you're going to see the sorting hat. If you read your card, it says, "Plenty of courage I see, not a bad mind either. There's talent, oh yes, and a thirst to prove yourself. Scratch off the circle below to reveal your house." So you want to find either a coin, I'm going to use my scissors, and you want to scratch off the little circle that's on there. And you're going to find out what house you're in. And so I got Gryffindor. So you're either going to get Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or Slytherin, and that's going to be your house for the week. So that's going to matter a couple times on some of the activities that you do. But again, I got Gryffindor. I'm going to set that one aside. So the next activity you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start your wand. And so what you want to look for in your kit, there's going to be a bag, looks like this. It says Monday, activity number 1. And inside there's some paint, there's a paintbrush, and there is a wand. So the wand is bare, it's just wood. But I went ahead and I started painting mine. So mine's already got the brown on it. And so what I'm going to do, you have 2 colors of paint. So I've already used the brown. And if you're going to paint your wand, the idea is you want to have a unique wand. And so I put the brown on, and I'm going to come back, and you have a second color in there. And so for mine, I have a little bit of gray. And so I'm going to come back. And what you want to do is, I let my brown dry for a little while. And so I'm going to come back now, and I'm going to take some of that gray, and I'm just going to add some little details in place. So I'm not going to completely cover all the brown. I'm just going to come back and paint some of the details of my wand, and maybe the tip of my wand down here with the gray. And as you know, in Harry Potter, when you go to Ollivander's, the idea is the wand chooses the wizard. And so everybody's wand is unique to them, and you're able to identify the wizard or witch by their wand. And so when you guys are painting your wands, that's what's going to make your wand unique to you. So like I said, right now, I am just adding some little details with that gray paint. So I've got my wand done, and I'm going to set it to the side because you're going to need to let it dry. You do want to keep your wand nearby for the rest of the week because there's times when they ask you to use your wand for some of the charms and potions we're going to do. But I'm going to put the rest of this back in the bag, move that to the side. As always, if you're at home and you're painting and things like that, you want to make sure you're doing some of the stuff where you're allowed to be a little bit messy, where you have some paper towels nearby so you can clean up and things like that. So we've been sorted into our house. We have our wand, it's painted and it's drying. So the next activity you're going to be doing is your house pride decorations. So you're looking for a bag that says Monday activity number 2. And so we're going to pull out the supplies. They gave you a lot of supplies, and that was because we weren't sure what house you were going to be sorted into. And so inside that bag, you're going to find a cardstock sheet, looks like this, has a tie, has some emblems on it, and then you're going to find some pipe cleaners, and there are some pony beads, and there's also a whole bunch of felt in here. So what you want to do with these supplies is make your house pride decorations. It will be fun for you guys to have it on in some of your videos. And so, for example, if I were to take my tie, you should have your general supply kit, which will have markers, crayons, colored pencils. So since I'm in Gryffindor, I would want to do Gryffindor colors on here. So that would be that red, maybe some gold, color my tie. I might cut out the Gryffindor logo and then use my glue stick to actually glue it onto my tie and make my decoration. You also have felt. So if you don't want to color your tie, you could actually cut out little strips of felt and fill in the stripes on your tie with the felt. And then again, it is a tie, so you want to be able to wear it. So if I were to come over here and cut out my tie, and again, you're going to want to know what colors represent each house. And so typically red is going to be for Gryffindor, green for Slytherin, blue for Ravenclaw, and yellow for Hufflepuff. But there's other colors that they also mix in, so you can get some really cool stripes and things on your tie. So got my tie cut out. And if I wanted to be able to wear it, what I might do is just take my scissors, and I'm just going to poke 2 little holes in my tie. I'm thinking this is too short for my neck, so I might actually take 2 pipe cleaners here, and I'm going to go ahead and just whisk my pipe cleaners together, make one big long one. So I've got both of these twisted, and I'm going to twist that like that. And we're going to twist this over here. And poke it through. And so now I've actually made a way for me to be able to wear my tie. And so again, you want to decorate that. You've got plenty of supplies here. You can make a bracelet with your beads. You don't need to use all the colors because they give you all the colors to represent the different houses, but you want to go ahead and use the colors that represent your house. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. So that's going to be your house pride decorations. Again, you have plenty of supplies to make some pretty cool stuff. And we're going to go on to our next activity. And so for your next activity on here, what we're going to do is do our first potions class. So you should look in your bag. You want to find the bag that looks like this. And it's going to say Monday activity number 3. Now, looking in my bag, I noticed that somehow vinegar got left out of your kit, which is what you're supposed to have for this morning. So you have 2 options. The first option is if you have any vinegar left over from your activities from the other week, you can use that. If you have vinegar in your house, you can use that. The other option that you have is if you go through your kit and find there is a kit for in the afternoon. So it's your potions class number 2, it's your Monday afternoon kit. There's also citric acid in that kit. And so if you want to pull out the citric acid from your afternoon kit, you can also use that in this activity in the morning. And there's enough citric acid in there that you should be able to use it for both classes and have plenty. So in your kit, you're going to find a little test tube set. You're going to find a little mini cauldron. There's going to be baking soda. There's vinegar. There's food coloring. we're going to add citric acid. So again, the vinegar you got to find at home, citric acid from the afternoon. And you're also going to find in there a little empty bottle, some aloe, and we have some rubbing alcohol, and then we also have a bar of soap. And so these are going to be for your potions class. I do recommend, if you have your safety goggles, that you actually put on your safety goggles as well. So I'm going to put these on my head real quick while I explain one of the activities. So one of the activities that you're going to be doing is called exploding soap. And so in Charm's class, that would be a spell that would be Bombarda, which is for explosions. And so the soap that we have is ivory soap. And it's very particular that you use ivory soap, not different brands. So the reason why is it's the makeup of ivory soap. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the information on that. So ivory soap actually has air in it. And so it's a little bit different than other brands of soap. You can actually do a little demonstration with this. If you take the 2 bars of soap and fill the bowl with water and put them in, your ivory soap will float. Other soaps might sink. So there's going to be a difference there. So what you're going to be doing with this is if you take your ivory soap, put it on a plate. Obviously, you need to unwrap it first. So you're going to take your ivory soap. You're going to unwrap it like so. And you're going to put it on a microwave safe plate or a paper plate. You might want to do paper plate. And then you're going to be putting it in the microwave. So make sure you have permission. Goes in the microwave. I would set your timer on your microwave for 1 minute. Here's the deal. You're not going to walk away from it. You're going to watch it for 2 reasons. You want to make sure nothing bad is happening. And the second reason is because you want to watch what's happening. Because your soap is not going to stay the same. It's going to look like it's exploding, expanding into this big giant ball of fluff in your microwave. And so I'm actually going to show you what mine looks like. I started mine. And so if you look, there's this really cool, weird, fluffy material. The fun part is if I pick it up, it's super light. Like it feels like I'm hardly holding anything. And you can actually crush it up and it crushes into this really weird foam when you're done. So super fun. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm actually crushing it all up. But this is my soap that I actually microwave. It feels like a powder now too. It's completely changed the texture of my soap. When we're looking at this in terms of chemistry, what you want to see is you're doing physical and chemical changes. And so physical change where you change the way something looks, but it's the same thing. Chemical change when we make something new. So I'm curious what you think this is. Do you think it's physical? Do you think it's chemical? Do you think it's a little bit of both? Do you think I could take this powder and put it back together and make my soap again? So lots of questions that you can ask there, but super fun activity that you can do with your bar soap. Again, in the microwave, 1 minute, watching it the whole time because you want to see what happens and also to make sure nothing's burning or anything like that. But that's going to be your exploding soap experiment. I'm going to set that to the side. All right, for your next experiment, you're going to be making hand sanitizer. So I already made 1 bottle, which is here. And if you look, mine has a little label on it. So you need to look in your bag. The label's really small. It's a teeny tiny little sticker, but it has the name of a potion from Harry Potter on it. And so mine is Liquid Luck or Felix Felicis. And so on here, Liquid Luck. And so what you need your empty bottle, you need your aloe, and you need your rubbing alcohol. Now, I will tell you, it's a little bit tricky to get the aloe out of the container and into the bottle. So you might want to have some paper towels nearby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of bend my portion cup so it's kind of pointy. And so that way, when I go to pour the aloe, it should hopefully just go straight inside and not get all over the sides of my little hand sanitizer bottle. Now, obviously we're making hand sanitizer because of the current situation going on in the world. It's very important to be washing our hands, and when we're not able to wash our hands, the second best thing that we can do is use hand sanitizer. But of course, I'm always going to be a strong advocate for washing our hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds is better than anything else you can do. But if you don't have a sink nearby, you can carry around your hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer, if you're making it home, the stronger the rubbing alcohol, the more effective it is. So we've got our aloe inside of our bottle there, and I'm going to put this to the side. And then we've got our rubbing alcohol over here. So you're going to open your rubbing alcohol. Be very careful. In fact, at this point, I'm gonna wipe my glasses off really quick. But at this point, you may even want to have your safety goggles on while you're doing this. Rubbing alcohol has a very strong smell to it, and so you want to be careful because you don't want to inhale this too strongly while you're making it. And so we're going to go ahead and carefully pour our portion cup of rubbing alcohol in. Put that to the side, and we're going to take our lid, put our lid on really tight, and you want to shake it up. So you want to shake that up so that way you're mixing up your aloe and your rubbing alcohol. And so now we have an awesome little bottle of hand sanitizer. And again, I put my fun little label on that says Liquid Luck. And so I have hand sanitizer that I can carry around with me. And again, we're doing chemistry when we do this. And so you want to ask yourself, physical or chemical change? So physical change, I change the way something looks. Chemical change, I make something new. So did I make something new? Can I get my rubbing alcohol back? Can I get my aloe back? Or is it something completely new? So that's going to be your hand sanitizer. So that's potion number 2 that we're doing this morning. For potion number 3, this is where you get to explore a little bit and do a few different things. So for this one, what we're going to do is, and I'm going to look, I do have a little bit of water over here. All right, so if you're able to find vinegar, perfect. If you're not, you can use citric acid, and I'm going to show you what you can do with that with just a little bit of water. So what we want to do, I'm going to give you a couple different options you can do for these experiments. So we are doing an acid-base reaction, which is a base and an acid. In this case, our base is going to be baking soda, and our acid is either going to be citric acid or vinegar, depending on which version you do. And there's some different experiments you can do. As far as this being physical and chemical changes, we're going to be using food coloring. Anytime you color something, that's going to be a physical change, where it changed the way it looks, still the same thing. The chemical change is going to happen when we mix our baking soda and either our citric acid or our vinegar. We're going to make something new. In both cases, we're going to make carbon dioxide gas. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can do this. So you do have a small cauldron, of course, because you are at the IMAG School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So if you want to take a little bit of your baking soda and put it in your cauldron, you don't need to put all of it. That little portion cup you have has enough baking soda in it for you to do a couple different experiments. And then, so we've got our little baking soda in there. What I'm going to do, we're going to do vinegar first. And so we're going to take some vinegar. And again, I'm not going to use all of it because I have enough for a couple experiments in this portion cup. And I'm going to pour some vinegar inside. And what you're going to see is we get that cool fizzing foaming reaction. Now you can actually pour more, make it overflow, make it look really crazy. That's up to you. Again, just be responsible and clean up your mess. But so you can do it in your cauldron. The other option is you can do things in the test tubes. So if I come over here and I take the rest of my vinegar and I pour it in a test tube, and now I've got my food coloring. And I have yellow. Everyone's got different colors. Don't get rid of your food coloring after this experiment. There may be other times this week you need food coloring, so you want to hang on to that food coloring. So got some vinegar inside my test tube, kind of swirled it up to mix it up. And then I'm going to put a little bit of that baking soda into my other test tube. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. Again, I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can do this. So the first way is if I leave it as a powder. And so here we're working with different states of matter. So in this case, I've got a solid and I've got a liquid. And when I add that liquid to that solid, I'm going to make a gas. In this case, I'm making carbon dioxide gas. So we're going to go ahead and pour. And you're going to see that awesome fizzy foamy reaction, and we're even overflowing a little bit, which is lots of fun. All right, now I still have vinegar left. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what you can do. I'm going to cap this and shake it because I want to clean it out. And I'm going to pour the extra into my cauldron just to get rid of it. So I'm going to do it again. This time, I'm going to put my baking soda in. Okay. And I'm going to get some water. And I'm going to pour some water in here. Okay. So I'm diluting my baking soda and also making it into a liquid. So I'm making a solution over here and mixing up that baking soda inside with that water. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take my vinegar and pour. And again, we still get that really cool fizzing foaming reaction even when I've diluted the baking soda and made it into a liquid. Now I'm going to show you another way we can do this. So this is what I was saying. You've got ingredients here where you can do several different experiments with it. So all I'm doing right now is just trying to clear out my test tubes. If you're at home, you'll have access to a sink, so you'll actually be able to clean your stuff out each time. But I'm over here with the studio, so I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and put baking soda in here again. So I've got baking soda. And now I'm going to do it with citric acid instead. So I'm going to take a little bit of that citric acid. And I'm just going to pour some in. You don't need a lot of it. And then again, I'm going to steal some water from my cauldron. Good thing I have that. And so I'm going to pour some water into both test tubes. So all I'm doing is diluting them and also just making solution versus the solids. So the nice thing is your little test tubes have caps. Just make sure the cap is all the way on. I'm just going to shake it to mix it up. And I'm going to do the same thing over here with the baking soda solution. I'm going to shake it up. So I've got two solutions here. I think I'm going to go ahead and still add some food coloring. I'll just add some to my citric acid and kind of swirl that up so you get a fun color. So right now I have a test tube that has water and baking soda and citric acid and water. And so we're going to go ahead and pour them together again. And I'm still going to get that awesome fizzing foaming reaction. So this was just to show you that you've got citric acid in the afternoon that you can borrow from. You should hopefully maybe have some vinegar in your house, have water in your house, you have baking soda, you've got your food coloring, you've got your test tubes, you've got your cauldron. So you have multiple different ways you can try and experiment with your different ingredients and create some different potions, create some different reactions. And so that's the fun part of this, is kind of making a mess with the fizzy foamy stuff that you can do. So that is going to get us through our morning activities. We are going to be filming our touch tank this morning as well, so that's your optional Zoom call, so that'll be at 10:15. And this afternoon for your class that you're doing with your teacher, well, we do also have our Science on a Sphere show, and that will be at 12:45. And then this afternoon with your teachers, you're also going to be doing a charms class with Wingardium Leviosa. You're going to be doing a potions class again with a few different potions, and then also be making a Patronus necklace. So you have a lot of fun Harry Potter themed activities. And then tomorrow we will join up again and we'll be doing even more fun Harry Potter activities. So I hope you're enjoying the class and we will see you tomorrow.